On to my agenda, excuse me, give me just a couple minutes. I'll call this meeting to order and then I'll ask for the roll call.
Here.
Here.
Here. And we have no one for the open forum tonight? Okay. Would everybody please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for the approval of the minutes of the Special City Council meeting of February 11th, 2014, the Special City Council work session of February 11th, 2014, and the regular City Council meeting of February 11th, 2014.
So
moved. Second.
All right, you
All of
too. I like that.
Pick
All in
whichever.
favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Motion carries. Thank you, Council. We got some exuberance here. Council discussion, hats off for hometown hits. Councilmember Fitzhenry.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As you may have gotten the note about the FAA decision on the RNAV, we kind of, those at the NOC, which is a Noise Oversight Committee, kind of anticipated this action, and we're already going to have a special meeting, I think that's March 6th, to go over our response. We already had the response kind of planned. What it really is for those out there, the RNAV actually was the fix for Richfield for where those planes went. I think, and the NOC's kind of agreeing that everybody got a misunderstanding of what RNAV and performance-based navigation is. And so we've kind of said what we need the FAA to do on this matter is to really educate the public on what we're really trying to do. It all goes back to the near miss in 2010, where they had to change the flight path for safety. The option of RNAV really is your GPS in the car, keeping those planes on a defined track so they don't ever happen again. And Richfield wanted it, along with some suburbs to the east of the river, because it would have been beneficial, because we would have been able to then have those tracks go back over the homes that are previously mitigated. Also, we got an event coming up that was kind of a surprise. The legislator is going to have a hearing, and we think it's on Tuesday the 4th, which I'll be a representative at, and they're getting involved in what RNAV is and that, and there's some thought that they were moving to kind of get rid of the NOC as we see it now, which is something Richfield doesn't want or any other city. I'll go on record saying the NOC's probably the best thing that ever happened with the airport. We have a unique situation that doesn't happen in any other part of the country, where we get city sitting down with the airport and the users at the same table and talk about what can we do to make everybody happy. And that doesn't happen anywhere else that we're aware of in the United States. And what does happen is the cities that are involved know that we can't say, I don't want them over Richfield, I want to throw them somewhere else. And so we don't push the problems on anyone else. We try to mitigate them the best we can to areas like right now they're flying them over the river. That's one of the RNAV departures that is active right now. And that's going over the river, and that's been very successful, and they got like a 99.6 compliance on that, which is unheard of as far as when you think of weather and what's going on. Those planes flying it are right within 66 feet of that track. So I'll be working on that. Hopefully we'll do a little education, but it looks like the FAA probably won't come back to maybe 2016 with RNAV, but we're going to work with the NOC and everybody else we can to see if we can revitalize that, educate people so they understand what RNAV will do to their benefit, and see where we can go from there. So.
Okay. Thanks, and thanks for all the work you do on that. Appreciate that. Councilmember Garcia.
I really don't have anything. One of the things that I know you will be talking later about the state of the city address, but I wanted to let people know that they should be on the lookout shortly after that for the annual report that the city is going to mail to the residents. And that's going to be, I think, just really beautiful. It's a new format, and the city has just gone way above and beyond, I think, in terms of trying to be transparent and in doing whatever it does electronically with the budget tool to understand the city budget and everything else. Just look at the website, and I mean, if you really want to know everything there is to know about your city, I mean, that's, you know, unless you get a magnifying glass and come to the city hall, you know, I mean, it tells you everything. And we're really proud of this newsletter that's coming out, and it's a beautiful annual report. And it'll give you more information than you ever imagined, and it's beautiful to look at too.
Councilmember?
Something that is off-stated, and I'm going to say it again in terms of congratulating Public Works on how they keep our street cleans. But more importantly on this one, I think there was a tremendous amount of foresight given the predictions and what happened Thursday night. Is I was out doing my driveway 8:15, 8:30, and we had snowplows out. And I think the foresight came into play because it had been raining and the slush was built up. And I think that our staff was wise enough to realize that when the temperature dropped and it froze, we have a real problem getting out and getting it when it was slush and still movable. We still having problems in the city, but we're not having nearly the problems a lot of the other municipalities had, because we got out and got the slush and got that moved to the side of the road before it froze. So we don't have the washboard effect. We don't have the real heavy coating. And to me, that just shows people taking a look at the forecast knows what's coming and having the people ready to get out and get to it so you can get that moved before it freezes. And the second thing is, I happened to be looking out my office window yesterday, and we back onto one of the streets that go parallel to 66, and there's a series of alleys that go parallel. And not only do they get plowed, but staff was out yesterday, couple front-end loaders and pickups, cleaning and smoothing out the alleyways and getting the snow removed from there. And I thought that's above and beyond, because, you know, you think about keeping the streets clean and everything, but having the staff and the crews out there doing that in the alleyways so they were passable, I think just tells me how professional and how well we perform in terms of taking care of the citizens. So I just thank staff and Public Works particularly for the work they did in that respect.
And I just want to go on to that because I get a lot of phone calls about these kinds of things, and I know we get a lot of emails of people who are upset because they got tagged or they got towed or those kinds of things. But I had no less than 3 contacts just the day after saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mrs. Andrews called and said, I saw you tagging cars. Thank you. I want the street plowed. I'm glad that you're moving these cars out of the way. We have an ongoing issue in my own street of cars, and it's never plowed all the way. And a lot of people were just very, very pleasantly surprised looking at what they saw in Minneapolis and everything, and knowing that we had it much better here. So I just want to say, I think the kudos far outweigh the few people. And I think the one thing is to let people know we don't have snow emergencies here. This is a really, really big, and Tom, you're the officer who worked on this. Tell us exactly how we do this.
Okay, well, we call it a snow event, really, and it's 2 inches or more. And I know city has sent Public Works to various locations to measure to make sure that we have that 2 inches. More often than not, 2.5, if I'm correct. And at that point, you must remove your vehicle curb to curb until it's plowed. And just because the plow goes by the first time, we get another 4 inches behind it. That doesn't qualify. I know a couple people on this one thought, well, they went by once because they were trying to get the slush off. You know, kudos to that. But until it's curb to curb, you know, you have to stay off the street. And one thing I'd like to add, too, is that I saw this time I hadn't seen in a while. Those that don't have cars that can go through 6 inches of snow, don't try it. Because they were getting stuck in the middle of the street, blocking everything, and, you know, and trying to make it to Portland or some street where you can try to go further. When you get to your destination, you're stuck again. So what I would suggest is, you know, hopefully your office or your work will understand, wait till the streets get plowed, because it's very difficult for the plows to try to go around somebody that's stuck in the middle of the street. And quite often it results in a tow that you have to pay for. So.
Thanks. I think that clarity, because everybody talks about a snow emergency. We don't have snow emergencies here. And that's why we can get out faster too, because we don't have to declare it and we don't have to make all that signage. And our streets are clean. So thank you, city staff, for that. I did want to just caveat, the State of the City is going to be this Thursday in the council chambers at 8 a.m., right?
Well, after the breakfast.
After
right?
the breakfast, but the breakfast starts at 7:30 and then at 8. And the general public is welcome to join and come in here and sit and watch it. It will also be televised again, I believe, and also taped. Is that correct? Okay, so it will be ready for replay, so those who want to come see it. This year, I've cut it down from its usual 2 hours, and there's no quiz. So there's no excuse for you not to come and enjoy that or to watch it, so thank you. Anything else, council members? Okay, I'll ask the council to approve the agenda with one caveat that we move 3D to 4.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And we have the consent calendar.
The consent calendar, for those in the audience, contains several separate items which are acted upon in one motion by the city council. Once the items are acted upon, all their individual motions contained therein are approved, and no further action on those items is necessary. Tonight we have several items on the consent calendar, starting with item A, which is consideration of the approval of a resolution authorizing workers' compensation coverage for the mayor and city council of the city of Richfield. Item B is consideration of approval of setting a public hearing on March 25th, 2014 regarding the issuance of a new on-sale intoxicating and Sunday liquor licenses for Lynn 65 LLC, doing business as Lynn 65 Kitchen and Bar, 6409 Lindell Avenue. Item C is consideration of the approval of setting a public hearing on March 25th, 2014 regarding the issuance of a new on-sale intoxicating and Sunday liquor licenses for El Tejeban Mexican Restaurant LLC, doing business as El Tejeban Mexican Grill, 6519 Nicollet Avenue. Item E is consideration of the approval of the facility sublease agreement between Minneapolis-St. Paul Airports Commission, the City of Richfield, and Three Rivers Park District to sublease the lands legally described and depicted on item C to the Park District for trail purposes. Item F is consideration of the approval of a resolution in support of the acquisition of easements for the Intercity Regional Trail. Item G is consideration of the approval of the Americans with Disability Act Public Rights-of-Way Transition Plan as recommended by the Transportation Commission. Item H is consideration of the approval of the request for a new therapeutic massage enterprise license for Zhang Xing LLC, doing business as Comfort Massage and Spa, 6519 Nicollet Avenue, Suite 301. And finally, item I, consideration of the approval of a contract change order number 1 for the Richfield Ice Arena 2013 Locker Room Addition project in the amount of $31,225. And that concludes tonight's consent calendar.
I'll move the calendar.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And item 3D. Who went to present that?
Item D, and this is being pulled off simply because it's a different majority vote that's needed for the passage of it. It requires 4/5, and we have a council member missing, so we wanted to make sure it's unanimous. But item D is consideration of the approval of the acceptance of a grant received by the Richfield Recreation Services Department from the Richfield Foundation and authorize the city to administer the funds in accordance with the terms prescribed by the donor. Is there anything special about that donation in particular?
I'm sorry, just that we're very happy to get the grant. Enables the Arts Commission to get out there and really promote the arts.
And tell them what it's for, since we're moving it anyway. How much? What'd you get it for? What are you buying with the money?
We are getting 2 potter's wheels, and that's what one of the best things that they like to do is actually engage the public in actually making art they do it at the farmer's market, you know that, and open streets and other city events, wherever they can get out and see crowds of people. They're promoting the arts in a very nice way.
I'll move item 3D.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
I think you got your 4/5. Thank you. Councilmember Fitzhenry, you have item 5.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Item number 5 under consideration is a public hearing and a second reading of a transitory ordinance providing funding for certain capital improvements from Special Revenue Fund. As part of the capital improvement budget and annual city budget process, certain special revenue funds are allocated each year to the fund capital projects identified through the budget process. The source of the special revenue funds are profits from the city's liquor store operation. These profits are transferred into the Liquor Contribution Special Revenue Fund. Before the funds with the Special Revenue Fund can be used for identified capital city projects, the city charter requires that the transitory ordinance be used to authorize the expenditure of the funds. In addition, the ordinance process allows for public input through a public hearing. The purpose funding for, or proposed funding for 2014 totals $450,000 and encompasses several park and recreational related projects. Finally, staff is recommending a redirection of funds from a few of the projects approved in 2013 transitory ordinance process. The changes have come about due to higher priority of needs being determined subsequent to the ordinance process by the Community Service Commission. And rather go through all the background, I guess we'll go ahead and call for the public hearing.
This is a public hearing. Would anyone like to come forward to speak about this particular item? Anyone? Anyone to come to the public hearing? I'll entertain a motion.
Move to close.
Second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Public hearing is closed.
Okay, then I will go ahead and make a recommendation that we have conducted and closed the public hearing and that we approve the second reading of the transitory ordinance providing for the expenditure of funds from the Special Revenue Fund for certain capital improvements.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. That's some really great projects there. Edwina, I believe you are the next item.
Okay, this is also a public hearing for consideration of a resolution adopting a modification to the redevelopment plan for the Richfield redevelopment project area, establishing 2014-1 tax increment financing district, the city garage site, therein, and adopting a tax increment financing plan therefore. Staff has recommended the creation of a tax increment financing TIF district on the 7600 block between Pleasant and Pillsbury Avenue, as well as the south portion of the former city garage site at 7700 Pillsbury Avenue. The only privately owned property, which is a residential house located on the block, has been excluded from the proposed TIF district. The purpose of this TIF district would be to clear the site of vacant and substandard buildings owned by the city and the Housing and Redevelopment Authority, HRA, the former, and that includes the former Gleason Mortuary and former city garage buildings, and to prepare the site for redevelopment. And this has gone through the council once, and it's gone through Planning Commission and the HRA. And so unless anyone has any questions, I will move to hopefully see if anyone has any comments on this public hearing.
The public hearing is now open. Would anyone like to come forward to speak about this item? Anyone want to come forward to speak about the item?
Move to close.
Second.
All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
The public hearing is now closed. Council member.
Okay, so I will move that we adopt this resolution adopting a modification to the Richfield redevelopment plan for the redevelopment project area, establishing 2014-1 tax increment financing district city garage site therein, and adopting a tax increment financing plan thereof.
I think you should say that 3
Therefore.
times fast.
I could. You know, this is the first time I've done it on the computer. I've read it.
You did
I
good.
have it in print, but
That's good. That's good.
of course, I had to take my glasses off to read.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, other discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And by the way, thank you for the mouse.
Yeah, we noticed she gets privileges.
It works a lot nicer, doesn't it?
Oh, it is
Oh, yeah.
so nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We know where we rate Pat. I know. All right,
I've
items-
been
think we need
scrambling
three
around
more
here
minutes.
all
Item seven.
evening, so
Item seven is
that's all
yours.
right.
Item 7.
Item 7 is a public hearing and consideration of a resolution specifying the use of funds from the Community Development Block Grant allocation for 2014, and opening of the written public comment period regarding the reprogramming of funds from the 2013 allocation. Hennepin County is annually awarded Community Development Block Grant funding on a formula basis from the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development. Richfield has allocated a portion of these funds to address local needs relating to affordable housing, community development, and public services. See, I got lost. The city is proposing to use its 2014 allocation of $201,637, which is an estimate, as follows. Deferred Loan Rehabilitation Program, $110,901. Penn Avenue Facade Improvement Program, $60,491. Public Services, Household Outside Maintenance for Elderly, $18,098. Homeline Tenant Services, $6,147. And Community Action Partnership for Suburban Hennepin, $6,000. In addition, the city is proposing to reprogram $98,000 of the city's 2013 allocation as follows. Once again, new home acquisition program, the approved budget was $98,000. The proposed budget is $0. Deferred loan rehabilitation program, $73,392 is the approved budget. The proposed budget is $110,901. Penn Avenue facade improvement program, approved budget was $0. Proposed budget $60,491. And public services, approved budget $30,245, and the proposed budget is the same, $30,245. The reprogramming proposes to fund the Penn Avenue Facade Improvement Program, which is a new activity. Under CDBG guidelines, funding a new activity requires a 30-day written comment period. Written comments on the proposed reprogramming will be accepted by the Community Development Department through March 27th, 2014. So once again, this calls for a public hearing, so...
We'll open the public hearing. Would anyone like to come forward to speak on any of these items? Please come up and state your name and address, and you have approximately 3 minutes.
It's Deb Taylor, and I am the CEO of Senior Community Services, and we're located in Minnetonka, our admin building. And our household and outside maintenance program serves the city of Richfield. And I'd like to just update you on 3 big changes that have taken place at Senior Community Services, and update you on 3 big changes in the household and outside maintenance for elderly program. First, as I introduced myself, I'm the CEO. I had been the Chief Operating Officer for the past 5 years, and I believe I was here about 4 years ago, and we were one of my first public hearings, and so it's really fun to come back and say thank you for the partnership, and to let you know that I'm the new CEO now. And the second big change at Senior Community Services is that the same week I was appointed CEO, we sold our building and moved. So the summer was really busy. In September, we launched our new logo. This, as you might recall, is our old logo, SCS, and
We'll show it up on the screen. We can show it on the screen.
oh, fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, terrific. And as you look at that, nobody really knew what SCS was. And then you have this box, and some people have thought the box represented tombs, which really isn't the message we were hoping to send. And then when I started, I thought, what is a pack of cigarettes doing on the top of SCS for our logo? So we went through a rebranding process. Our new logo
Oh, yeah.
is Senior Community Services spelled out so people know who we are. And our new tagline is Reimagine Aging.
Oh, yeah. I like that a lot. Really says what it is.
It really says what it is. We've had a lot of positive feedback
I love
on
the
that.
color. Yeah.
The 3 big changes that have taken place within the household and outside maintenance for elderly program is part of the branding was that we used to call it the home program, And nobody really knew what home was. They got it confused with Homeline, with all these other acronyms. So we spell that out now, even though it's quite a mouthful. The other big change is that Kitty Engel, who had been our program director for the home program for 15 years, has retired. But I'm happy to tell you that Sue Gallus has taken her place, and she's been with Senior Community Services for 25 years. Wow. And she has held several leadership positions, and we're real excited to have her in that role. And lastly, we centralized the operations. We used to operate 2 separate offices. Now we've centralized operations, and we still have a satellite office in Creekside, along with our licensed social workers, Deb Hoger and Lori Angus, who works also in the city of Richfield in senior outreach. We have between 2,000 and 3,000 local community volunteers that help augment the work of the household and outside maintenance for elderly program. We have professional staff that do snow removal, which has been really popular lately.
Yeah.
And we have lawnmowers, we have homemakers, painters, both interior and exterior, and home maintenance. The volunteers provide the spring and fall yard cleanup, and that is done for free for residents of Richfield. The other services are provided on a sliding fee scale based on their ability to pay. Our new strategic vision is to mobilize the community to reimagine aging. And in 2014, we plan to serve 110 Richfield seniors in the household and outside maintenance for elderly program. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
I know seniors who are utilizing your services, and they speak very highly of what's been happening, so.
Well, I just wanted to say that I worked with Kitty, and she was just a lot of fun.
I
to
miss
work
her.
with. Yes.
I really miss her. Yeah.
Yes.
She was a great, she just had the heart for the mission, and it always came through whenever she spoke about the work that she did.
Yeah.
And I want to thank a lot of, I know that there's a lot of volunteers from Richfield
There are.
that, just are just invaluable and just that are loved by the seniors.
They are.
So I thank you for all the good work that you do, and it's so important now because just about everywhere you turn, people are living on a limited income, and they need and depend on services like yours, and thank you for doing such a good job.
Yeah, thank you. What we hear is that it helps, 96% reported that it helped them remain in their own homes, in their own communities, in their own cities where they really, truly want to be.
Good.
And if I may, if I could share with you, I did my first newsletter, and if I could
Yes,
share
please.
that with you.
Please, just
And
read
then
along.
also, if I could share with you our new brochure with our new branding, our
yes.
new
Oh,
logo.
Yes, we would like to
and
see that.
Who should I bring that to?
Just bring it over here to the side, and they'll pass them all around to all the council.
Okay,
Thank you.
great.
This still is a public hearing, and it's still open, so would anyone else like to come forward? Please.
Good evening. I'm Carol Watson with Community Action Partnerships of Urban Hennepin.
Yes.
Mayor, City Council members, I'm thrilled to be back again this year and report to you our activities in the community of Richfield. We have valued your partnership immensely. You're a really strong community. We run a legal service clinic over at the high school that serves specifically, we're working with an immigrant population to help them get deferred action status so that they can get work permits and these students can stay in school and get jobs and go to college and have the immigration issues off their backs. So we have been, it's a vibrant community for us, that's for sure. I'd like to just share with you a little bit the results from last year. Our programs are around full cycle home ownership programs. So we do foreclosure prevention, and we have housing specialists. We do the counseling for foreclosure prevention and help people if they want to refinance their homes or come to the conclusion of what's best for them in their home ownership situation and cycle if they are facing foreclosure. So in the foreclosure prevention, we serviced 28 households in Richfield. That program, the foreclosure rate is sort of is slowing down. And so what we've done, one thing that we've done to change is we've retrained all of our housing specialists so that they can move from program to program. So our foreclosure prevention counselors can now do pre-purchase counseling, financial counseling. So that's a deployment, and we're sort of shifting our numbers for the future years to put a little less emphasis on foreclosure prevention and more on first homeowner activities. Homeowner education, we run homestretch workshops, and we completed nine of your residents completed those, and those are first-time home buyers. So they learn the skills and what is really involved in owning a home and having a responsibility for maintaining a home and being an active member of their community. Home buyer counseling, so this is credit counseling to get people mortgage ready. We worked with 4 households in Richfield. Reverse mortgage counseling, we did 1 household. Doesn't seem to be, that's one of those programs that, it's not a program we promote at all. It's something that is a service that we offer to make sure that if people are considering reverse mortgage, that they're doing it for the right reasons and they understand the financial implications. And then we have home repair and maintenance, and we've worked with 1 household in Richfield in 2013. We're predicting moving our number of 43 households served up to 49 households served in 2014. Other programs, we have served over 14,000, probably around 14,000 households, 13 to 14,000 households in energy assistance. Yeah. And we are ramping to make sure that we are prepared to help with what we expect to be the extension of financing from the state to up to $20 million. So we're hoping that goes through today, tomorrow, and we've got people in place to be able to help the people who have been turned away because they were over income guidelines or for various reasons, get them back into the program. We do food support application assistance. We administer the Eden Prairie car repair program. We're MnSure navigators. I happen to have the pleasure of being a MnSure navigator, which means that I have spent up to an hour and 45 minutes on the phone waiting for a voice. I could hum the tune that is played, I'm telling you, and everybody in my work area around me. And then we have just started financial security workshops for seniors. If you have organizations in Richfield that would be interested in having it's about a 2.5-hour seminar on how to create financial security for seniors and avoid scams and being a target of scams, we would be happy to come in and do that for you. So we thank you again for your continued support, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you. Questions?
I wanted to ask you, I know that there was a time when the finances were just, getting really bad, and there was talk about merging with Community Action in Minneapolis. Are the financials better now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes,
Good,
absolutely.
good.
Yes, we are in a position to remain independent and service the. We work. Actually, we're doing Minneapolis has asked us to come in and do our legal clinics there, so we work cooperatively with them. But we are certainly independent and intend to remain independent.
Oh, and now that you mentioned that immigration clinic, it's really not at the high school. It's at Central.
It's at Central, yeah.
Central,
Not
which
being a
is,
resident here, I'm not. It's in
right.
conjunction with Mira. So Mira
Right.
has really helped us
That's at
have
the
a
old
presence
Central
there.
School. Yes.
Yeah, and we have 2 immigration lawyers that volunteer. Our lawyers are all volunteer lawyers for that program, with the exception, we have a lawyer on staff, Marcy Harris. But we've got immigration specialists. So it's been a really, really rewarding program to work with those kids and their parents to get them secure to have a future in the United States.
Good.
Thank you.
This is a public hearing. Does anyone else like to come forward? Anyone?
Move to close.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is closed.
With that being said, at this time, I have a 2-part motion. Number 1, I move to approve a resolution authorizing use of funds for the 2014 Urban Hennepin County Community Development Block Grant Program and authorizing execution of a subrecipient agreement with Hennepin County and any required third-party agreements. Number 2, open a 30-day written public comment period on the reprogramming of 2013 Urban Hennepin County Community Development Block Grant Program funds from the New Home Acquisition Program to the Penn Avenue Facade Improvement Program and Deferred Loan Program.
A second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion carries. This is going a lot faster tonight than I had thought. We have a lot of good things going on. This is consideration of the second reading of an ordinance amending Section 210.01 related to the city council salaries. Chapter 11, Section 210 of the, I can't read it either. City Council Code establishes the salaries of the city council, subsection 210.01, subpart D, 5, provided that the salaries of the council members shall be reviewed by the city council set by the section by May 1st in each year in which the election is held pursuant in section 200 of this code. An ordinance amending the salaries established in the section must not take effect until after the next succeeding municipal election. The city council salaries adjusted would be effective as of January 1st, 2015, and city council approves the ordinance. According to previous established city council policy, any increase should be based upon the amount of increase granted to employees in the years subsequent to the previous salary adjustment. The salary adjustment increase to the employees in the management and general services pay plan was 2% in January 2013. However, the city council may set their salaries in relationship to other metropolitan cities. And I believe we agreed upon the 2% increase as far as for that. So at this time, I will make a motion. Make a motion to approve the second reading of the ordinance amending section 210.01 related to city council salaries.
Second.
Any other discussion? I'm making more money than the mayor of Edina. Thought that was
Well
cool.
deserved. Well deserved.
Yes. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
I don't know if they've passed theirs yet. That's all. That could change. Wait till he hears that. I said that. Councilmember Garcia, you have the next item.
Okay, we did interview for the city commissions, and we had two women that came before the commission, before the council to interview, and one of them was Mary Olafson, and she wanted to be on the Friendship City Commission. And she really has a lot of great plans for that commission, and also intends to visit Costa Rica and at Heredia, which is our sister city. So I will move that we place Mary Olafson on the Friendship City Commission
And a term.
in
And-
her term, which
and-
will expire January the 31st, 2017. So we're going to do one each at a time. one
Okay,
at a
I'll
time.
second that.
Okay.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And then next, we also interviewed Constantina Waters for the Arts Commission. She's also a business owner in, I don't know if she's in, I think her business is in Bloomington. Anyway, she was also, one of those gifted people that I think is going to bring an awful lot of ideas and energy to the Arts Commission. And so I will move Constantina Waters to be a commissioner in the Arts Commission.
Second.
The term.
And her term will end at the same time, January the 31st, 2017.
Sorry, second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
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 Oppose?
And we still have openings in the Arts Commission, Community Services Commission, Friendship City Commission, Human Rights Commission. And if you apply, we as the applications come in, we will do the interviews and subsequently probably get you on board. So thank you for those of you that, that have applied. And I think we've probably got a couple that are coming up pretty soon. So thank you for applying, and you really will enjoy these commissions. I can guarantee you that.
Everybody says that they learn so much more about the city and how their city functions just by being on that, and you really do. So thank you. Thank you for that. City Manager's report.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, I really don't have a specific report to make. I just want to, piggyback on a couple things that council said during the Hats Off. Our our new format city newsletter will be coming out shortly. And I really think, I'm very proud of the job the staff did in putting that together. I think it's really going to be great, so I want folks to anticipate getting it and take a look at it. And the other thing is, I just can't say enough about what a great job of dealing with snow plowing our staff did. When you drive around through other communities and you drive into Richfield, the difference is so apparent. And, you know, we still get calls, people complaining about various things.
Yep.
I do get a lot more calls of people who wish we would tow more cars than we do. We go out there and do the very best we can. I just wish people would just be more aware of getting their cars off the street, and we could do a quicker, better job than we even do now. But I am very proud of what Richfield does in that regard.
I
Thank
think
you.
a lot of people move here from Minneapolis thinking that they have a snow emergency and they get some kind of an alert system, and that's not the case here in Richfield.
Right, and you made a good point, Mayor. The reason that we're able to do such a quicker, better job is that we don't have to wait for to declare the emergency to have that go out, because we have a standard. And that standard's been in place for like, oh my goodness, at least 15 years, Tom, don't you think? About
I know it's
At
past 10 at least.
Yeah. So we're out there and we're able to get it, and the idea that we got it twice to get that slushy stuff off first, and then we're able to get it. We don't have the kind of washboard roads that a lot of other places have, and it just worked out
Kudos.
great for us.
One last request, you know that Edwina and I are headed to Washington DC for the conference. And we need to take with us the laminated sheets for the federal. You were going to put something together for us, right?
Right. Again, on the federal, it's much more limited. Maybe you and I can talk about that.
Yeah, what we want to say,
Yeah,
what we want.
let's talk
It'd
about
just
that,
be
Mayor.
nice, because I know we will be seeing Keith Ellison and
Yep.
our senators
Mhm.
and some of the others, so it'd be nice. Okay.
When
I'm leaving the 7th, and
I'm leaving the 7th, too.
Okay,
as
we'll
well.
have plenty of time to
I'm
put something nice
returning on the
together.
13th, and
Mhm.
and then I'll be gone the second.
Right.
The second council meeting in March.
Right. Yep.
But my husband will stay home. I'm going on vacation. He'll stay home.
shame on you.
Well, somebody's got to answer the phone.
Oh, I see. He takes over. I see. Okay, all right. Claims and payroll?
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Seeing no further business, I will call this meeting closed. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.